Right, ladies and gentlemen, just about to start the Malta Cyber Series 3 Back to Basics League of Legends tournament brought to you by KFC as everyone picks up their starting items.
Yeah, and you do see pretty standard starts across the board. Point for both supports as they look to build towards the Ardent Sensor as soon as possible.
Oh wow.
Doran's blade on Cog
Blade.
is a bit brave, considering he's going to eat a
Especially
lot of
versus
harass.
Soraka.
Yeah, he should really be going for the Doran shield, or no, or about it honestly.
Yeah, he will be taking now a lot of damage from those explosive charges, and also, even the auto attack harass just from Worku, who is also, I see now they have opted for the heal barrier on Worku and Asmalex respectively. But yeah, trying to harass into a Soraka, pretty difficult. So Doran's shield probably would have been the optimal pickup there.
Sneezing, sorry. Sneezing, yeah. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna sneeze again.
You have like a button? I have no idea how to this. Yeah, can you just sneeze like on mic, please? Communication is key in any relationship, Ibris. In any case, we do see pretty standard starts from everyone, but actually it looks like Vortex maybe wanting to start his blue buff. Very interesting, looking to make some action happen bot lane. Maybe he's going to want to go for the level 3 gank bot, but we did see this before. He started blue, he rushed level 3, and then oh wait, that wasn't. Yeah, he started blue, rushed level 3.
That wasn't him.
And then it
was him.
I got confused because I was like, no, that they were losing so hard early. I was like, oh yeah, they came back.
It's all good anyway.
Yeah,
you see the
could rush level 3, but did not last time.
I'm looking like top side.
Oh. There's actually so much damage coming out onto Worku. Definitely the person they need to put the hurt onto is
Aurelia's early lane phase is not spectacular, by the way. Ours is a lot better than her. About level 1. Her level 2 is fine. Her level 3 is okay. Level 4 is quite bad compared to others. And her level 5 is really, really good compared to others. At level 5, yes, she can start to outtrade him, but before then, look for her to be on the back foot.
You're going to have to see, not too hot early, but especially once she picks up the Sheen, kill pressure going to be coming.
For sure, I love Aurelia and Tanar, dude. I wrote a guide on it.
Very, very low on health. Forced to use one of his biscuits already, and Mechanic's already using a potion as for Dazzle. Does not connect as Malix taking that rocket jump level 2, so losing out on a lot of that damage by not having the rapid fire, but still playing a lot safer as Mechanic's taking up those starfalls, and he's not getting that health back. He doesn't have a Doran shield. Those are actually quite risky to take.
Exactly, and you should be looking for Raze to apply some sort of pressure after he hits level 5. But before then, just expect him to get continually pushed under his tower like this.
Ooh.
Big trades mid lane as well. Obviously, Zillion's going to get out-traded by Orianna early. Who doesn't? And Zillion is especially going to struggle because that champion not renowned for his spectacular lane phase. Yes, he can clear waves. Yes, he can gank well, but
that's all he needs. Just doesn't have too much in the way of solo kill pressure, and it's
but when he's that far up in the lane, he eats damage for free a lot. Yes. I like that he's taking teleport though. That's good. And Orianna taking cleanse for the double bomb, also very nice.
Of course, very risky. You take either the double bomb or the permafrost, and you're guaranteed to take the other straight after. As once again, Dazzle goes wide, and this is what you were talking about. Raze comes in, he gets the stun. Gary so far the flashes at exactly the same time.
I've done that so many times as Aurelia.
Gary will live.
Yeah, now that she's got, I do believe it was 2 ranks in the W. Yeah, she's connecting W into now. It's good.
Connecting onto work with barrier force, so is the heal as Malix has jumped in aggressively, but Mechanics is so low. Trying to move up forward, but heal and another heal coming out from Worku to pretty much triple as Malix is remaining health. Mechanics so low. No barrier available, no summoner heal available. As Malix has both summoners, he can go for a very aggressive play. Vortex senses this and he's in the area.
Exactly, and you see Vortex just rotating here, knowing that there is
actually, the silence going to lock down Mechanics. Not able to flash, but Vortex can. Flashes on in, but as Malix flashes on out. And at the end of it, Mechanics stepping up a bit too far forward and just gets gunned down by Esmalix.
Vortex trading his flash in exchange for a...
2 flashes.
Yeah, 2 flashes even.
Pretty worth, pretty worth.
Pretty worth. Sorry, I have to change my layout again.
Well. And now we see the potential first gank of the game from Ruby. Got a nice recall, picked up a Smite Stone, going to drop both those wards, and instead of maybe going full V dive before Donut hits level 6, he is instead just going to clear out the top side jungle of Vortex, now that he knows his bot. Oh, once again, Donut taking so much damage in these trades, and they're not even trades because there's nothing going away from Donut. He's not doing any damage, but Doggo forced to flash out so he doesn't take the double bomb, but I don't think Rewind was actually available, yeah, for Dominator. Doggo flashing out when actually not at
nice
any
Aurelia
risk.
Trades.
So really, yep, getting the good trades on the top.
After level 6 it gets a lot easier because you can start to R the minion wave and then Q to the low health creeps to go through it all.
Gets pretty good at that point. As now we see
Shockwave.
the Shockwave counter Donut. He has the ult, but no matter, he will go down. Ruby coming into the top lane. Gary trying to build that Naba, gets the wallop and gets the Gnar into the wall. Looks like he might try and turn this around. Ray's going so low, but he will pick up the kill onto Gary. There was a high chance he went down there.
Yeah, really, really, really close. Wow.
Alrighty. Taking a bit of a calmer step now, but remember that kill did go over to Raze. That is very important. Really going to help out his solo killing potential here. But actually, instead of picking up the early
spectacular.
Sheen,
he's gone for the ninja Tabi, I guess.
I guess he wanted to get the boots early. Oh, he hadn't recalled.
Oh,
wait.
Okay.
No, he recalled, ran to lane, cleared the wave with ult, and now is instantly recalling again. Because it was a pretty big wave, and yet we'll pick up that Phage. So I guess he prioritized the Phage over the
I think he wanted to match Gnar's Phage if Gnar came back to lane with a Phage. I understand that, but I'd rather have the Sheen for the burst.
He can now
Phage feels really good into mini Gnar anyway, to be fair.
And again, getting the cloth armor, which will work quite nicely with the health from the Phage. As Ruby just trying to defend his blue buff, but not going to get it. Smite used, but Vortex picks it up. Actually, no, it's Ruby trying to invade, but level 6 does go to Vortex, but it's quite important that Dominator did not get that blue buff.
Stun comes out to Tristana.
Indeed it does, but she should be a-okay. Has the barrier, and the heal is there from Worku.
Action top lane.
Yep, so no one going to that quite just yet. Now Gary has the hop available, so again, just trying to trade back a little bit of damage, but it's a net positive for Raze, who will be able to heal up with the hit and style. Again, Dexter just fishing for Taric stuns, but doesn't particularly need to land them. They don't need to win this lane. Taric Kog'Maw is just too strong later on, and to be honest, they're doing pretty okay. Down a kill, and only down 1 CS, 1 single creep. But Esmalix has that Mechanics doesn't, so they're okay with this, but instead they want a little bit more.
See Mega Gnar here just disincentivizing Relay from committing, as you do see Vortex about to make a play bot lane.
Yep, 4 people moving on down to the bot lane. They're on a pink wall, but there's a pink in the river, so Esmalix will be able to jump on out. I like the bomb delivery, queuing onto the silence so he can already use it, throwing out the stun as well, connecting on to Tristana, forced to use the barrier just in case, and the wish coming out as well. So although a lot of resources committed to that bottom lane, they do blow a lot of the defensive tools that the Haze have. Also getting through Worku's summoner heal as well. So now there's actually maybe potential for a dive down here in the bottom lane. Ruby in the area, and everyone else from Raving Raptors has left.
Yeah, you see them just shoving and shoving and shoving. Tristana actually, because of that, gets kind of pushed back to her tower, which is something you don't often see every day, a Kog'Maw pushing in a Tristana. The fact that that actually restored a lot of tempo to this lane here means that there's a lot of pressure alleviated from the spot lane, and it just gives Taric more room with which to get some deep wards down if he so wishes, or just roam perhaps, and especially since Tristana's being forced base now.
Indeed, forced to recall, so they're going to actually get a bit of a CS advantage here as Raving Raptors pick up this wave, and it's not even a cannon wave, so pretty much all of that should die to the tower. So now we see Raze trying to set up a freeze in the top lane.
Sorry, I muted my mic, I didn't realize. Yeah,
Nice,
so you
nice,
see
nice.
Raze just realizing that he can go on Gary anytime he wants. Anytime he sees a window of opportunity, he's going to go for it. He's building a wave of his own. I'd like to see his jungler come up. Ruby just come up here, yep. And then he just full star back, and then now you have the big wave built, you can go for Rift Herald.
Go for the Herald, you might even be able to go for the dive, though Gary's flash is available, but so is Ruby's ultimate. That Nature's Grasp to lock him down under tower, and they might want to try this before his Mega Gnar comes up. It's the only reason I can think Ruby would still be in this top lane. He's just stacking up saplings right now, waiting for Gary to maybe come and ward, but all the time the Nava is filling up, and whilst this is going on, Vortex is coming in bot. Once again, he's going to run over that pink, but the Flash Dazzle does not connect. Vortex charging on in, but not actually the direction he wants to go, as now the Pillars of Harmony come down to get the invulnerability whilst they go under the tower. Vortex tanking up.
Heal's coming out.
Away. Now Dexalute tanking the tower. He's too far forward. The Summoner heal is going to be enough. Drops the Bastion to get the shield. And there's the flash in from Doggo. Gets the Shockwave as well to pick up the kill onto Dexalute. But Mechanics maybe wants to find some more. He's running off after Work, who does go down to the tower. Will he get the Acanthian surprise? Yes, he will. So they manage to trade back a kill. But it's still 2 for 1.
Aurelia can kill now here. Aurelia can kill now here.
She can. He's tired out and he has no E. Forced to flash, and Raze will back off because of the tower. Whilst all this is going on, Ruby will be taking away that bottom lane tower, and I mean Donut is just trying to catch what CS he can here.
Exactly. He's looking for whatever he can find, honestly. And you see that Aurelia is maxing her E second, which was standard, but I think that it's now preferred to max your Q second, especially against Gnar, against these ranged matchups, because it means you get the additional burst and the additional gap closer. Plus, it lets you itemize.
Oh, speaking of gap closers, Ruby coming into this mid lane, going
Nature's
for the
Grasp.
flash route, the ult not going to connect, so Dominator will be able to get out there with a nice zoning bomb as well. And we've seen a lot of action in this bottom lane so far. 3 deaths for Raving Raptors.
Oh, I forgot to mention
course,
on Aurelia.
Haze.
If you max Q second, you can build lethality item second as well.
Oh.
Duskblade or Ghostblade.
The Mad Lad build.
Yeah,
Not even too bad, although of course versus the Gnar you will just get completely outscaled, and lethality into Tarek does not sound like a fun idea in my books, but Raving Raptors are really trying to make something happen down in this bot lane, but do they really need to?
Genuinely, I think so, you know? Given that their other lanes are losing so hard.
The thing is, they were completely even when they were down that kill, they were still even in CS. They're still even in CS now. They're trying to make so much happen.
Hogmore is their win condition, so they're trying to set him up to succeed. But
so risky.
On the other hand, they're losing every other lane because of that, because they're tunneling so hard on this one person, and he's not even getting ahead for the sacrifices that they're making.
They just cannot make these. They can't actually make these plays happen. What I'd much like to see is maybe counter ganks in the top lane. But actually, we're going to see the counter gank coming up from Orianna and Ruby. Raze very, very low, but the team's here to assist. The command protect was not used, but the shock wave was. Does not connect onto Gary though, only Vortex. Now here comes the teleport. Dominator looking to hit up a double bomb. He's trying to get it onto both. The cleanse is used, but it's not enough. Ruby taking damage from the bomb, and now they're maybe looking to dive. That Narbar is filling up, and they have the wave. Ruby not even going to risk it, they're just going to go for the tower. And
yeah, really
right
good
on cue. Right on cue. I was just about to say, Vortex, I mean, Gary's behind, he's not that behind. Maybe try and even out that lane and get him ahead so he can't get solo killed anymore. And that's what he does.
I don't think this means that he can't get solo killed anymore, unfortunately. The Tabi help, yes, but I don't think that he's still home free, honestly. The closest she gets to her power spot.
Home free, Mechanics really not using the barrier, but actually not blocking any damage at all. Going down to nearly single-digit health there. He has his refillable going and has the heal spam from Dexalute, but
and we do see this wave about to crash in tower.
Could mean First Blood Tower will go over to Asmalex with that explosive.
It's already gone down.
Oh, it already ran over top. I forgot. Yeah, actually picking that one up.
Second Blood Tower, dude.
Blood Tower, though. Still good. They equalize the tower score and get themselves a nice 1,000 gold or so extra. Now sitting at about a 3k gold lead.
And now, you know, they're in a position to succeed. Aurelia, yeah, she's gone even in lane, which is nice. Here is where she's most efficient, around that level 10, level 11 mark. After level 9, when she has max rank in one of her skills, she's getting nearer and nearer the Triforce. She is just going to start to really come online now. I think she's waiting in base for the Triforce. Or not, as the case may be.
Waiting up for that gold. How much does she have? She had 8 gold.
Stinger.
She was waiting for
Stinger.
whatever the last thing she bought was.
It was Stinger.
Alright.
It's okay, it feels a bit bad not being able to afford the Triforce, but yeah.
Back in my day, Triforce costed 3 gold and we liked it.
Yeah, and the Zeal was the least expensive component.
Yeah,
Now, Zeal is more expensive than all of the components and not even a part of it anymore.
No, Zeal's 1200 now.
Oh. It was 1300.
Oh wait, no, you're still right. It's still. Yeah, no, is it 1100 now?
It's 1300. Zeal is 1300.
It's not 1300 right now. Not
12 or 13.
It's 12 or 11, I'm not sure.
It's not 11.
Ruby doesn't care for Zeals as he goes on in. Nice ball delivery. Means the Dominator will get locked up, but he does still have the Chrono.
They're getting a bit overzealous here.
Cosmic Radiance is used, and this is what we like to see. Mechanics full health and invulnerable. The scariest kind of combo there is he has his wits end finished, but the
Mechanics alone
run out. Forced to flash on out. So far, just Dexloop going down with his flash there. Mechanics maybe could have played a bit more aggressively in that fight when he was invulnerable with the fully stacked Guinsus, but he's not playing Tristan. He's not that mobile, so just runs away from that one. And the Rift Herald will go over to Haze.
Exactly, and you see a lot of stuff happening across the board now. Both of these teams really, really just going at each other's throats constantly. Now, the more of these questionable trades that we take, the stronger Tristana gets, the...
Oh, Vortex! Actually looking for the engage. Nice servant from the Equinox does mean Mechanics cannot walk up, and it's actually just the Glacial Prison can be used for nothing.
Yep, I guess so. So now we're just kind of chilling while we wait for the next one, huh?
Just gonna wait for the tower going to be hit up by this explosive charge as Malik's just trying to throw some damage onto it. Vortex dashing on in and the shockwave is used. It brings Mechanics very, very low, but
we expected them to struggle in the early game, and they have. They're not horrifically behind that they can't come back. 3k gold is nothing, but we need Cogmore
17 minutes
to come through soon, please.
Well, I really would have liked to have seen Vortex pay more attention to the top lane, to be honest, because this bottom lane, very hard to gank any lane with a Soraka, because she's just going to constantly heal them up, and hard to gank a Tristan who's just going to jump out, but they tried to force so much, up to the point where they even went for that dive, and then Vortex backed off from the dive so early, when he probably could have taken 2, 3 maybe more tower hits before having...
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Aurelia is the unrequited love of my life, but I'll admit, she's not great.
Is she
this is where she's strongest. Gonna fall off. In season 4, I had a rune page called "She Is My Waifu," just for her, and then I had another rune page called "And I Love Her Very Much." I do, but especially Aurelia. Dude, I'm loyal to Sayaka from Madoka Magica. If anyone's seen that. We didn't have anime viewers. Do they have anime in Malta? That's the question.
Well, they only have anime in Japan. It's just a world export, as it were. There's a few American animes, but not count them as now.
The people in Malta. Oh, Infernal Drake.
Infernal Drake.
Dejwani?
Get the steal, not going to get it. He's now in, and he Arctic assaulted into that. Nice Equinox will lock up a 3-man Shockwave. Vortex just able to flash on out. The Cosmic Radiance will save Dexaloop from taking a lot of damage, but not enough, as it times out the bomb and the Q connect at the same time. Gary now left alone, forced to flash on out, but Ruby coming.
Ruby taking on the magical journey.
Now it's just time for Doggo to start dishing out the damage. The Chrono Shift actually going to be used, but going to do nothing to save him. Interesting interaction there. The guy was still stacking his Narvar after he went down, but went down he did. So he goes down there, and now
should be a turret for them. Their wave clear is gone.
Tower. It's almost like Tristan is a really good champion.
Yeah.
You know, see Wraith actually flashing.
Aurelia is a really good champion.
Ruby's going to follow, but the Radiance, the Dazzle even will lock down Wraith, get the permafrost stun as well. He's going to be able to just get on out of that one, though, thanks to the healing from Worku, and the tower will still fall.
So now we do see this game really panning out for these guys. Raze has got a couple of kills, a couple of assists, a single kill, some good global gold, a big wave to soak up top, building towards what I can only assume will be either the Sterax or the Titanic Hydra. And everyone's in the position they want to be for this Haze lineup. You've got Tristana almost on 2 items already, you've got Orianna already on 2 items, Malco with the Righteous Glory completed, and Soraka's got her Ardent. Everything after this is just luxury.
Everything really where it needs to be for Haze. But remember, they did have a lead early on into the last game as well. This time around, though, their kills are going to be somewhere a bit nicer. They're not all in Ruby's Poppy. They're going to be on Doggo in the mid lane, so might be able to carry with these this time round. But remember, every game you play versus Cogmore, it's just a ticking time bomb. On top of that, he's also got Chrono Shift available to him and the Cosmic Radiance from Dexalute. But we still see he has 3 deaths. He keeps on going down these fights before he can put anything out, and you just think that that's poor execution from the Raving Raptors.
Exactly, and you see that if you look at the vision game on the map, all vision around Baron is now pretty much belonging to this Haze lineup. Tristana is at a point where she can pretty much shred through it. Orianna does good DPS to it for a mage as well. And I really think these guys can just take the Baron here. Aurelia also does good damage. To go for it.
They have no mountain dragons, but like you said, Tristana's damage is pretty high, but she's still only sitting on, 1.5-ish items, 1 2/3 if you want to be technical. It looks like it might even be going for the very early Phantom Dancer, or perhaps the second dagger was just picked up because there was 300 gold to spare as Doggo keeping the pressure up in this mid lane.
Yeah, and you can see just... Oh, yeah, nice. It's good. Not much to say about that besides it helps mitigate a lot of the burst coming her way.
Yeah, it allows us to play a lot more aggressive, and of course, Sterax Gauge does increase your base AD, which means it also increases the damage you get from your Triforce proc, so pretty nice bit of synergy as well there for Raze between those 2 items.
Now you have just, the group of this lineup just going towards this top lane while Aurelia sits in bot with her teleport available.
Indeed, both top laners splitting down in the bot lane, got their TP's primed and ready, and Ruby is setting up this bush. He does not want to get flanked from there. Fair few saplings in there, but they have timed out now. Vortex does have the passive available, so it's allowed to play a bit more aggressively. Walk up with that frost armor. 200 health, 200 armor and magic resist. Not much to laugh at as Vortex jumping on in. Dazzle not going to connect though. And Mechanics is just stacking
Shockwave goes wide.
Winsus, but like you said, Shockwave not available anymore as it did not connect. A nice Equinox going to disengage that fight though, as Gary is about to go mini and is at risk of now dying to Raze. Raze instantly, the second he goes mini, queuing in onto a creep, gets this stun as well, and now it's just tearing him up with that true damage. Forced to now try and kite it out as the Sterax is popped. That will be a pretty hefty cooldown that Raze didn't really get to use, but it looks like Haze might want to re-engage.
Here goes Aurelia!
Raze still trying to go for this solo kill, but Hugh not available. Just going
Flash is available, unfortunately, otherwise she could have gone for that.
Creep.
Yeah.
Indeed, she could have. Now going to force Gary out of the fight, but once Gary recalls, he's going to be healing up and he will actually be able to make the better teleport. Although if of course he does, Raze will take this tower. So Raze getting some free damage on it now. As Raving Raptors still have this little stall going on top, and Vortex is hanging around on the side, but that Shockwave is nearly back up.
Aurelia is in an interesting position where she's at an item threshold that makes it so that her teleport has a lot more innate value than one from the Gnar, at least when he's in mini Gnar. Now, do you group with your team and then go just try and siege something with Tristana's insane zoning potential? Or do you sit in the bot lane and hope that you draw more up?
Oh, wow. Doggo actually, one step too far forward for Mechanics, and Doggo just going to completely eviscerate him with the tip of that
all
shot.
By himself.
Practically used on cooldown. The absolute solo kill after all of this stalling and all of this sieging in top lane. Manages to actually get a solo kill when there's 8 people there, as Donut Dominator will be able to connect that. Dazzle coming out from Dexalute, and all the while Raze still split pushing away in this bottom lane.
That's how it should be
I
done.
don't think he should group, but this tower will be going down to that rapid fire and explosive charge from Asmalex, who's still yet to recall, sat on 1.9k, but Mahanix has both of his summoners available if they want to go for a fight. The Frozen Prism is used. Will keep Ruby
Glacial
under
Prism
the tower,
coming out here.
That's just going to be healed up, and there's the flanking teleport from Gruntless Gary. They do not know
jumping
that he's
here.
jumping on in to try and get a recall, but now here comes
Reliant's
Mega
TP.
Cooldown. Can he get it off? Yes, he can. Gets the wallop, trying to get Vanar, but the flash out from Asmalex, using both of his summons. Mahanix flashing in over the wall as well, but completely destroyed by Raze. Flashing on and picking up yet another kill. That's a double kill. Also taking down Sejuani, looking to make it 3. Going in onto Gary.
Is that mana?
Mana is too low. Whilst all this is going on, Asmalex is picking up the kills and picking up the resets, jumping on over the wall, and Gary does the same to get out to safety. And Gary tried to make something happen, tried to get the flank there, but again, Mahanix just gets absolutely destroyed.
You said Doggo was shockwaving on cooldown.
Raze.
You said Doggo was shockwaving on cooldown. Now Mahanix is dying on cooldown.
I was going to say Mahanix is dying on cooldown. That's toxic, but kind of true. Also, having his barrier available basically the second that the invulnerability ran out as Ruby.
It's a bit too hard for that in him.
Down. A little bit too confident for that. Thought the shield might be enough from Doggo, but it wasn't. But yeah, Mahanix flashing in very aggressively, flashing also away from Dexalute when he only had the one item. Did have the fully stacked Winsu, so was putting out a lot of damage, but no lifesteal, no Wit's End, no Blade of the Rune King, so none of these things that will help keep him alive in these long fights, and didn't even use his barrier. He was just completely blown up by Raze the second the fight was started, as now Raving Raptors actually look to try and pick up the Baron off of Ruby's death. They know everyone has to go and recall, and
this was really good of them.
A lot of damage. The shockwave does manage to
the
steal it. Doggo picking up the Baron, and now it looks like Haze might try go for the fight. They are 5v4, but that's got to be a morale booster. But no, just going to back off and now run it to the mid lane. A lovely steal from Doggo.
A morale destroyer there. That was really sad. It was left on 300 health, and just the edge of the shockwave picked it up there.
To be honest, Vortex has his smite up, and I believe he has both charges of it, so clearly a bit of a mistake there from Vortex. Maybe he thought he didn't need it, maybe he overestimated the burst from
I think he used it and it was at 300 health.
Underestimated the burst from Raze, as he is now getting engaged on has the Cosmic Radiance, just going to keep him alive, and Dazzle is going to keep Ruby out, but all the damage constantly being thrown onto Ruby when it needs to be thrown onto Worku, as he just constantly topping up Ruby's health every single fight.
Yeah, really, telling there that, this team, they went for the Desperation Baron given that they were on the back foot after losing the top inhib, which is such a nice play to make. It's really proactive, really good. But then, yeah, it all just kind of fell apart towards the end there with the Baron steal, and it just looks like they're gonna be even more behind now.
Yeah, getting that Baron would have been a good start to trying to recover this game for them, but after losing it, they now lose both of those top 2 inhibitors as well. And just look at the items, only 2 finished items for Vortex, just for Knight's Vow outside of his Cinderhole, just for 2 items for Mahanix as well, and neither of them are a Blade of the Ruin King, so it means he cannot go to make these aggressive plays that he's trying for. Now Raze has the Sterax up, but Gary has for Narva, so he queues them immediately, going to queue on out. Now, see, another tower will fall, picked up by Asmalex, and the shockwave again just tearing through members. Dexalute will go down, and the redemption not actually finish anyone off, but down goes Asmalex thanks to the bomb. Now Cogmore revived by the Chrono Shift, but not going to buy him enough time. Will be forced to flash on out, but he's still alive, and as long as he lives, so will everyone else. He's just constantly topping them off. That is an Athene's Unholy Grail you do see on Worker. It's such a toxic item on Soraka. So hard to stack it.
Why is everything toxic to you?
It's so hard to stack it, but when you can see what it does. It's now everyone is dead on the side of Raving Raptors.
And that's game.
Down. Dexalute just going to spawn. That will be game, which means we will be going to a third game. The series is now 1-1.
Wow, that was just